started, and I'm going to monitor as people come on in. And so, all right. So guys, thank you so much for being here. This week, I had scheduled 2 amazing trainings, and I'm super excited to have Kc here today. I'm going to let her introduce herself and tell her about who she is, and let her dive into this training that I'm very excited about, because like I'm the same as all of you. Can we use a little bit more laser to, we can use to be laser, wow, I can't speak this morning. We definitely can use help in being laser focused every day when we're working out. Like I swear, this week I've been like a fly by the seat of my pants kind of show at my office here at my desk. So I was excited for this morning's training, because I know that it's going to definitely be a big help. So Kc and I have known each other for, I say, since about October, right, Kc?
Yes.
Kc, October, November, when we were together as a group in a group coaching program. That's where we met, and we connected right away. And I was a guest on Kc's podcast, which was such an amazing experience. And so I'm going to give you the floor, Kc. Welcome, and thanks for being here.
Thank you so much, Julie. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm really excited. As you mentioned, as entrepreneurs, we all need a little help getting laser focused, and especially with all the things. And we're going to get into some simple strategies and go from there. So I'm Kc Rossi. I'm a business and leadership coach. I'll dive in a little bit more in my background as we move along. But today, what I really want to focus on is helping you get set up for success. First off, using one simple strategy that's science-backed. The other thing I want to say here is approaching something with an open mind, even if you've heard something similar, or maybe it's crossed your path, is really going to amplify your learning. So I'm a big believer in destiny. I am a big believer that you're here for a very specific reason. And my hope and intention is that you are going to hear the exact thing that you need to get you to where you want to go, or to just help this time management piece connect easier for you. The second thing is to squash overwhelm, because this is such a common situation with entrepreneurs and solopreneurs, is overwhelm, and we can really get stuck, or we can also go into procrastination from overwhelm, or even procrastination from trying to be too perfect. So we're going to break that down so we no longer have to deal with that. The cool thing is these are, as you can see, I have one strategy and one thing, because what we find with micro habits is when we can break them down into the simplest denomination, that's when it has more power to have like a holding power or to stick. We want to be super self-compassionate with our own self, because we have been doing our routines for a long time. They weren't a routine that just happened overnight. And so there's like a natural path where it's kind of like the path of least resistance. And our brain's just going to take us there because it's the easy path. It's the path that has a deeper grooved neural pathway in our brain. So this is also backed by science. So these little changes and micro habits and strategies that I'm going to be teaching you today, we're going to do them little by little, day by day, and over time, so they're sustainable. The third thing is, which I don't know about you, but getting more done in less time, that is so attractive to me. I'm all about efficiency, return on investment, and if I can do something with less things, less time, less like mental gyrations, sign me up. So I'm going to share with you a tool that has really, really made a difference in my business and in the clients that I serve. So the cool thing is, not only will you get more things checked off your list, you're going to feel better at the end of the day. And as humans, we are completely driven by feelings. So that's something that I want you to be really aware of, is like, how do you want to feel? How do you want to feel when you start your day? How do you want to feel when you end your day? So super, super important there. So first off, this is going to be like a live in action implementation right away, because I'm all about taking our theory and putting it into practice with the intention of self-mastery. So that is the winning formula. So first, I want you to commit to being mono-focused. Also, to eliminate any distractions, which means silencing your phone, turning off your notifications, closing down a million computer tabs, which if you're like me, you've got lots of tabs open, but we're just going to shut them down because we're going to spend this quality time together so you get exactly what you need. And the cool part is, and you're going to see this over and over again, because I also have mindset training. I'm trained in neuro-linguistics programming. So what it boils down to in so many instances is a decision to show up as the CEO in your business, a decision to commit to being laser focused, a decision to improving today and be better against our own personal best. Nobody else. It doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. It only matters that we're committed to improving our own personal best today, tomorrow, the next day, and being consistent with it. Is that cool?
That's really cool. And then, it's funny that you talk about that, because I'm actually reading a book right now, and I just finished, or actually I'm in the middle of a chapter, and that's what she talks about. All it takes is a decision.
It is, it's powerful. And it's also not only powerful, but empowering, because no
Yes.
one can make the decision for us. In fact, I'm doing like a dance thing every evening. And the leader always says, like, you've got to be the one to shake your own booty. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Like, absolutely. Amen. No one can get in your body and do it. And no one can get in your mind and make the decision. So it's very empowering. So we're just going to take a second to set our intention here today, less than a minute. You're welcome to close your eyes if it feels comfortable. We're just going to do a simple breathing and grounding meditation here. And I want you to just get very comfortable in your seat. I want you to start just paying attention to your breath, taking a nice slow inhale, and exhaling everything that's not serving you in this moment. Feeling your feet on the floor, very grounded and supported, maybe rocking from the ball of your feet to the back of your ankles, or rolling your ankles around. Feeling very supported in your sits bone, sitting up nice and tall, relaxing your shoulders. And on the next inhale, just focus on your mind space for a moment, calming any of your racing thoughts. And on the next inhale, just bring your attention right down to your heart space, giving thanks for this time, honoring the time that you're carving out to improve your personal best. And on your next inhale, just focus on your belly space, understanding that we have cells in our belly similar to our brain cells, and this is our intuition, this is our gut knowing. And this is how we can lead with strong intuition and be leaders in our life and our business, connecting our head space, our heart space, and our belly space will make very powerful and inspiring leaders. Just take one more gentle inhale and exhale, aligning your spine. And gathering back whenever you're ready. So the cool thing is you can tap into this anytime you need it in your day. If you're feeling like your day is running away from you, if you're feeling stressed, if you've had a call or an interaction that's thrown you off center, in just less than 60 seconds with that very simple exercise, you can just connect with your center and realign your energy, and then choose again, set a new intention, and start again. And this is very powerful because it's impossible to be focused when we're not centered. And it's extra challenging to win the day if we're scattering around with a bunch of mind swirls. So this will really bring your energy in alignment and calm your nervous system and set you up for success with this platform that all of us can do at our fingertips at no charge. So you are in the right place if you have experienced overwhelm by all the things. And especially in today's world, there is so much digital distraction, so much white noise, so much political unrest still, and on and on and on, right? You're no stranger to what's going on and the amount of traffic that's even coming online, and the amount of more and more experienced marketers that are getting into our psychology to be even better at distracting us and pulling us into consumerism and materialism. So it is more challenging to be focused in our business because it's easy to fall down the rabbit hole and be really attracted to all the shiny objects, right? Because the ads are getting better and we're curious, and maybe we don't really love what we're doing, so we want a distraction. And if this sounds like you, like it's all good, like we all experience this, there's nothing wrong with you. Like this is just super common. You're also in the right place if your to-do list feels like Groundhog Day. Like if you just keep writing the same things over and over and over again, like today I'm going to XYZ. Oh, shoot, I didn't get to that. Well, let me just write it again. And sometimes you mix up the order and sometimes you put them on colored Post-it notes, but they're still not really getting done. Then you're definitely in the right place because I'm going to give you some tips to squash that process. You're also in the right place if you spend a lot of your time at your desk working, but often fall into creative avoidance. And if you haven't heard that term creative avoidance, basically what it is you're busy, but it could be on perfecting those Canva graphics, or it could be on tweaking your website for the 100th time, right? It could be on rewriting your curiosity hook, and going over and over the same things. So it appears busy, but they're not income generating activities. They're not the things that are going to move the needle in your business. And if you were going to really, really be honest with yourself, they're more staying in a comfort zone of being a busy bee than really focusing on being the CEO of your company and saying, yep, it may not be what I really want to do, but that's the thing. That's the chunky thing. So in any event, you get to decide and change things now. And that's really what my intention is here, is to help support you and give you strategies along the way. So as I said, I'm Kc Rossi. I'm a business and leadership coach. For those of you that are new to me, I've been an entrepreneur for 30 years, lots of times, lots of experience, ups and downs all along the way. I have personally built and supported clients to build 6 and 7-figure businesses. My longest running endeavor was 17 years. I ran a chocolate company with my best friend. So that was super awesome. I'm also a business writer for international and national publications. And as you can see, I've been seen on major networks and just have a ball really sharing my message. Like business is built in my system. Like it is truly a part of who I am. So I'm thrilled to be here and share this information with you. So I want you to take a second and just imagine it, like finishing your day, feeling fulfilled and energized. I would love, like by show of hands, how many people already experience that? Like when they finish their day, they can be like, phew, job well done. I'm crushing it. I feel great. And I don't have to think like, oh, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, or I could use a nap. Yeah, it's a tough balance to get to, right? Because we're in this like almost race against success. And depending on which philosophy you buy into, like if you are plugging into the type of people that say like you can sleep when you're dead, it could be really exhausting to be in the hustle and the grind And to think that, yeah, I'm showing up on 3 platforms, but maybe I should try another one because Clubhouse sounds interesting, or maybe I should be doing TikTok because those are kind of cool. Like, it's really easy to feel like I'm not complete because I still have an inbox. And I think the thing is, it's again a mindset thing. Like, we're never going to fully be done. It truly is the journey, and be okay with an inbox. You're going to have an inbox, and tomorrow truly is another day. Even if that sounds trite, it definitely is a truth bomb in itself. So this is a shot that Julie did because I love her membership. I'm a member of her Stock by Jules. And so you're going to see a few of her picks scattered throughout. But again, when we talked about it boiling down to a decision, one of the big things is our belief system as well. If we believe like, I'm behind the 8 ball, I just don't have enough time to get things done. I don't have enough experience to do X, Y, Z. Or if I just finish this one more thing or get one more certification, then I'll be all set. Then that's what's going to keep coming towards you and in your reality. So this is also based in a science of the law of attraction. So it's like your vibration is going to attract and keep repeating where your mental kind of like thoughts are, where your beliefs are, because our thoughts turn into feelings, which govern our emotions, which are responsible for our results and our actions. So that cascade is very, very powerful, and it's backed with these science driven chemicals. Like we have dopamine that kicks off when we get a reward. Like we have, again, going back to those grooves of our neural pathways. It's powerful, and it takes some time to redirect. So when we can flip the script and change those thoughts that I just mentioned into, man, I'm going to rock my day. Like, I got this. And it is about the journey. And I'm going to just keep showing up. And I'm a powerhouse CEO, and I focus on the most important things. And life is easy for me, and business is easy for me, and clients are attracted to me magnetically. And I'm a content creator, right? When you keep flipping the switch to those positivity thoughts, your reality will change. So the base here is our belief system. And again, no one can get in between your 2 ears and shift that but you. But the cool thing is you can. And it's not about perfection. It really is about progress. So we see, hashtag progress over perfection is this like trendy thing, but there's reality to it. So again, I always say little by little, day by day, and our belief system is no different. So let's dive in here with some tools and strategies. So the first promise that I wanted to give you here is getting set up for success by using one simple science-backed strategy, and that is sleep. Sleep is so huge. And when we stay focused on our to-do list, and we don't even put sleep as an equation in, like as a factor in our equation to our work success, we're missing a massive piece of the equation. It is science. And more studies are actually showing that it's linked to boosting productivity, but it also makes you a nicer person to be around. Sleep is one of my non-negotiables. If I don't get 8 hours, like you'll know it if you're in my space. Like I just really, am a different person without my sleep. And so I don't know what that non-negotiable is for you, but sleep is so, so important. And nowadays, like depending on whether you want to wear a smartwatch, or if you've even checked out those Aura rings where they actually can tap into your deep sleep, your REM, because it goes a lot further than just the amount of time you're in bed. It's really that nourishing and that rest and restoration sleep that's going to give you the foundation that you need to keep going into having energy. So if we don't have energy, it's very difficult to focus on the right things and to even approach our business with enthusiasm. And so definitely don't underestimate sleep. One product, and I'm not a nutritionist, nor am I trying to like diagnose or recommend a supplement, but I'll just say what works for me is a product called Calm, and it's a magnesium supplement. And I think it's absolutely fabulous. It really, really helps with stress. When we're having increased stress, response in our system, it gobbles up our magnesium. So not only does it help with like joint pain and sleep, but it also helps with stress. So I use that. I love it. And that is one thing, like I said, you can Google tons of studies on sleep and work productivity that really aids in focus. And it's just a basic kind of human need. How many of you right now feel like you are getting 8 hours of good, solid rest and sleep? Awesome. Cool. That's amazing. And if you want to share, like, do you have a tip or a strategy of like, or were you always a good sleeper? Or do you find like you have chamomile tea before bed, or like what's been working for you? You can unmute or you can pop it in the chat. I don't see the chat right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the work itself. Whenever I do good work on my computer, laptop, for my digital marketing thing, so it's so much tired that I need some sleep, good amount of sleep.
Yeah.
Because if sometimes I tried that, I thought that I may increase my productivity by sleeping less, but the next day is so hard for me. Your hands, your legs tell you, your body tells you that you did not sleep properly.
Yes, absolutely. 100%.
And sometimes I feel that reading books also helps. When you read some good book, your eyes fall down with the deep reading when you sense the things.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, cool. Thank you for sharing. Cool. So here's the thing, the success of your day starts the night before. This is a key for high performing entrepreneurs is they know it doesn't start at 8 a.m. when they sit at their desk. They're prepping the night before to get ready for the following day. So one of the things Ankit just talked about was really this wind down time, whether he was bringing in a book that starts to bring the nervous system down and starts to kind of delineate from work time and screen time to wind down time. So one of the most powerful things that we can do for ourselves to win the day is to install a PM ritual. And a lot of people will do a digital sunset, which means when the sun is setting, they have no more screen time. Now, that may be difficult depending on what area of the world that you live in. If you are maybe helping people with marketing strategies in India.
because it's 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. in the evening. Sun has set already.
So you may have to adjust and tweak your strategies.
But I had to come here to this workshop.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you. So, our bodies run with the natural sun clock, right? So that's something to keep in mind when we're thinking about digital sunset and putting that into place. Now, that being said, it has to work for your life. There is no one size fits all that's going to work because some people have children, some people have pets, or they're caring for their elder parents. So it has to work for you. This one I personally struggled with because my boyfriend actually is like a late into the night. Like he eats dinner at 11 p.m. and like, he likes to, have a later kind of wind down. So for me to say like, I'm going to bed at 9 kind of cuts off our like time and our companionship at the end of the day. So you have to make these adjustments and these micro tweaks for you in your life. But this is what we're really seeing in high performance productivity leaders and entrepreneurs is this digital sunset. Definitely the wind down time with baked in self-care, whatever that self-care is for you. It could be a bath with essential oils at night. It could be a foot soak with Epsom salts. It could just be like reading by candlelight. Like, yourself and what makes you feel good. Maybe it's connecting with a loved one on the phone to just kind of share your day and have that connection and that outlet. But it's a really nice way to kind of signal to the brain that like closing down, I'm not going to be like a slave to the beeps and the buzzers and the notifications and checking Facebook, checking email, and really putting that boundary in for yourself and sticking with that time. And I know that that's something that is challenging for people because there's that FOMO, right? Fear of missing out, or there's also that automatic response when we hear an alert. We've now become a slave of our beeps and our buzzes. So we get this kind of like fight or flight response all the time when we're hearing a ding. So you may want to silence your phone after a certain period of time. And also boundary setting. This is so very huge, especially as entrepreneurs. We have to be extremely clear with our own self first, going back to our intention, and with our clients and prospective clients. What is your expected response time? What channels do you expect to be approached? Right? Like, be super clear when you're working with your clients that you're not available 24/7. If that's your model, which I highly recommend. For me, like, it's literally between 9 and 4, Monday through Friday, and no weekends. And I try to remember to put my email setting on the weekends, that in order to hit the work-life balance, there's not going to be a reply on the weekend. So being really clear about your boundaries, when your clients can reach out to you, and then sticking with that. Because years ago, I was like, I'm so clear. And then I'd get an email at 9 and be like, oh my gosh, I got to jump how high. Somebody just emailed me. They need me. Like, they're waiting. And so you're basically smushing that boundary line and making it really gray. And then you're teaching them that it's okay to text you at 7 p.m. and it's okay that you're going to respond Sunday night at 6:30. So you've got to set your boundaries and then stay with them and be super open about communicating them. That's going to be really, really helpful. The other thing is your morning ritual, your AM ritual. So how many people already have some kind of consistent morning ritual right now? Cool. And Julie, you want to share like what's a couple of the things that you do?
Yes. And I mean, it's not like, it's not all self-care, but it's a little ritual that works for me, that gets me going. But really, I get up, I brush my teeth, I come down, I let the dogs out, because my husband leaves early for work. So I let them out, I let them go do their thing outside, give them a cookie. And then I have this funny thing that I clean the kitchen, like whatever leftovers were from the night before, or if there's like, a few extra plates or whatever needs to be done, I clean the kitchen. And then I make my coffee, grab my big thing of water, and then I come to my office, I do some journaling, but I don't always do the journaling, right? Like I'm a human, and sometimes I don't feel like doing the journaling. But that's kind of the start to my day. And then I do a little bit of checking my emails and all that stuff. And then I have two kids. One is not homeschool, but he's doing online learning. And Noah, he's 12 and he goes to school. So I get him up at 7:30, make sure he's taken care of. And then at 8:30, I'm ready to dive into my day.
Awesome. Yeah, I love it. And, you're right. Again, it's that progress over perfection. It's like, if we tell ourselves we're in this rigid box that we have to do XYZ, fill in the blank, journaling, because some expert said that that's how I'm going to win the day every day if I journal, we don't want to sabotage ourselves. We don't want to set ourselves up for disappointment if we don't hit that mark. That being said, we want to try to consistently shift our habits, but it's about, again, just improving, going with the ebb and flow. Maybe journaling's not lighting you up. If you are sensing that you're just going through a robotic motion, it's time to switch up your AM ritual. And you get that permission to give yourself, like, you know what? I'm just not feeling the journaling anymore. What else can I do? Maybe it's affirmations. Maybe it's visualizations. Maybe it's plugging into gratitude, whether you're speaking it out loud or typing it in a Google Doc. Like, that's the one thing that, again, everybody's personality and system and requirements are different. For me, I like these three things. As far as, to me, I feel like I can plug into energy alignment through journaling or through listening to people like Abraham Hicks. It really gets me clear. And I'm like, okay, awesome. I've been meditating every single day for 30 years. That to me is a non-negotiable. It's right up there at the top of the list with sleep. And I really feel different and ungrounded if I don't do that. So that's something that's like been a real consistent for me. And then a movement piece, even if it's just lubricating your joints. It doesn't have to be like CrossFit unless that's your thing, but just some kind of movement, right? Just some kind of like, we've had a lot of stillness and stagnation as we've slept. So just like telling the body like, hey, we're in this, like, we're going to win the day, like getting our mind aligned, getting our body fluid. It's going to really, really help. So these AM and PM bookends is really the first step in getting you set up for laser focus. It's going to make a huge difference. Again, one of the things too, when we're doing any kind of habit change, is just pick one thing. You don't know, if I'm giving you 30 suggestions today, pick one or two. Try it on, test it on like it's a new coat for you. If it feels good, keep it. If it doesn't, move on to one or two other things. So that's how we also exercise self-compassion and non-perfection, when we can just take one or two little things, test it, try it. You know, you can always shift and change. So hopefully that first point was helpful. I'm open to any questions before we move to the second one, and I'll also stay on for questions at the end. So does anyone have any questions on AM, PM ritual?
I just wanted to add, Kc, that, you know, going year 2 into a pandemic, or whatever you want to call it, I think this is more important than ever now that we tap into our little rituals to make ourselves feel more focused and energized, and do the self-care rituals, because I think they're going to also help with our mental state, right? Like, I mean, we just came out of a lockdown. I'm in Ontario, Canada, and every province has their own things. And so, I mean, and we're out of the lockdown, but we're still in a stay-at-home order. So that can be tricky for some people. I'm cool because I'm a stay-at-home body, and I've got my little network of business besties that I talk to on a daily basis. But there's some people that they're not okay with being cooped up in their homes. And so I think that, you know, in a global pandemic, this is more important now than ever to kind of feel the good feels, right?
Excellent point, Julie. And yes, and I think that, you know, the silver lining of what came from the pandemic is more time, an opportunity to have this open space to get to know ourselves and the people under our same roof in a deeper, more interconnected way. What's going to work for you, and how do we communicate better, and how do I even listen and embody my own feels, right? And ride that roller coaster of being, you know, maybe depressed, maybe isolated, maybe whatever, fill in the blank, and be okay with those things that are coming up. And then flip the switch. How do I turn this challenge into something that's going to help me grow? So I love the fact that you brought that up. Self-care is so huge. It's not just a trendy thing to sell cool water bottles and yoga mats. It literally has science-backed efficacy. So definitely test it out in your own life, and be open to those feelings that arise, even if they're not like shining and amazing. Like, accept them and feel them, and then also have a strategy to move yourself through them. All right, cool. So the second point is squashing overwhelm once and for all by implementing just one thing. This has been huge, 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 huge in my business. I have a very active mind. So for our Indian friend on the call, like, I have a very pitta mind, right? It's very fiery. It's very active, right? So this has really helped me to pull it in. And it's a very simple practice called MITs. And MITs basically stands for most important things. So when we are making our to-do list, we want to keep our most important things limited to 3. In fact, priorities, the original word that was derived from Latin was actually priority, because part of the definition was that if you have one thing that's important, you can't have competing spaces for the priority. But I don't know where that morphed in Western time, but it became plural. And now all of a sudden, when someone's like, what are your most important things? They give you a list as long as their arm. And then we wonder why we're overwhelmed. We wonder why we don't have the bandwidth. So this is a simple journal. I'm happy to share this with you. It is a fillable PDF. So I can give Julie the link so you guys can get this copy and either fill it out digitally or print it if you're more of a touch and feel person. But what is super helpful is having your most important monthly goal and a single goal, so a little bit chunkier, very, very clear, goes back to setting your intention. This gratitude first, this can be a part of your AM ritual, or you can just do this as a part of setting yourself up. Yep. Did you have a question?
Yeah.
Sure.
Can you make us understand through some small example of your real life, which can fit well? So
Yeah.
it will be good.
Okay, cool. Absolutely. I'll be happy to. So let me just break down this printable here, and then I'll go through and kind
Yeah.
of give you an example. So
Sure. Sure.
yep, keeping a one page for me, like on a little paper stand by my computer, that's what really helps. Some people will use a whiteboard to do this same exercise, and some people like more digital on their mobile. So again, whatever works for you is the most important. Keeping your 3 MITs of the day aligned with one of your big top goals is going to be very important. So this will stay the same during the whole month because you got a chunkier goal. All right. These 3 ones are like micro tasks that you can get accomplished in, say, like a half hour to an hour, that are going to support that goal. Because again, we're going to be focused on 3 things in our day. We talked about how important tapping into our feelings is, because as humans, we're driven by feeling. So I like to set the intention of how I want to feel today. Maybe I want to feel energized. Maybe I want to feel powerful. Maybe I want to feel light. That's going to be super important to the things that I do and the people I connect with in order to make sure that I feel that way at the end of the day. I like to capture a light bulb moment. It could be a cute quote that I saw on social that I was like, I loved that. I resonated with it. It could be something that in a coaching session, I was like, man, that's gold. Let me grab that light bulb moment. And then the other thing that I'm a huge fan of that I really think is going to help you in your business is capturing your win of the day. Because as entrepreneurs, we're so focused on that huge to-do list. And I would say, honestly, out of all of my experience, I would say 9 out of 10 of my clients forget to celebrate their wins. And I think that they are a common cross section of entrepreneurs in general, because we, for whatever reason, feel we're not doing enough. And whether it's a worthiness thing, we rarely celebrate the wins, or we think the wins have to be 10x what they are before we can celebrate. We have this if then algorithm going on in our head subconsciously. If I reach X per month, then I'll XYZ. If I book another client, then I'll buy a new phone. Like, we run these algorithms in our brain instead of saying, man, I did X and I'm going to celebrate. Even if it's a small win, remember to celebrate that win. The other thing that I've done in the past is like keep a little jar. So if you are more of a kinesthetic person, keeping a little jar and writing your win down, or writing positive feedback that someone's given you down and popping it in that jar is really, really a great reminder when we need that additional emotional boost on some of our lower days. So to give you kind of context around this. So say, for example, one of my monthly goals is to get 6 features. So that would be one of my goals for the month, to be in front of other people's audiences as a marketing strategy. So then if I would move to gratitude first, maybe I would keep it in a line to that, or maybe I would just kind of riff and do kind of a rampage of gratitude of like, I am grateful for technology that I can connect with people globally, right? I am grateful that I have a voice. I have a podcast that spreads my message to the people that are meant to hear it. I might just then start riffing on some of those gratitude points. So now when I look at my 3 most important things, it's like, okay, as a CEO of my business, what am I going to do that's going to be in alignment with getting 6 features this month? Okay, cool. Maybe one task is going to be to research some of the top entrepreneurial podcasts. That might be task 1. Again, we want to make these doable. I don't want to say and then XYZ. So I'm really putting 3 things in that one slot, because we do that, right? We're like, oh no, I can do this and this and this. I'm going to research the podcast and then I'm going to email the person I need to. And then those are multiple things. So one most important thing would be to research the top entrepreneurial podcasts that are in alignment to my target audience. Point 2 might be to research and test catchy headlines so I can promote those to magazine articles. And then the third one might be to create the slide deck to do my guest expert training in Julie's Facebook group, right? All of those 3 big pieces are things that are CEO focused, that are in line with my monthly goal of wanting 6 features, and that I'm going to feel super great getting done, and that they are doable tasks to get done in those chunky work blocks, which I'm going to get to in a little bit about work blocks. How I'm going to feel, maybe I want to feel excited, right? Because I have this opportunity to get in front of hundreds of thousands of people, and that's a phenomenal way to grow my list. So I'm going to be excited. And then at the end of the day, I would put in the light bulb moment and the win of the day. So when you first kick off your day, you're going to get all the way down to the 2 end blocks. And when you wrap up your day, when you're feeling energized and fulfilled, you're going to fill in those other 2. Does that make sense? Is that helpful?
Yes, this is amazing. This sheet is like, and it's, I mean, I've been an entrepreneur for, almost 15 years, and I started out as a photographer. I dabbled into network marketing for a few years, actually. I came back to my artistry, but this is something that I need to, practice, like start practicing on a daily to improve, the things that you're talking about today. And so, you look at me here, and I seem like I have it all together, but there are still things that, and I forgive myself for that. And moving forward, how can I better my journey so that I have amazing end of days, and celebrating my wins? That's one that we don't think to do, because we're so focused on, doing the stuff, right, that we forget to celebrate our wins, no matter how small they are, right?
Absolutely. And every little segment, like say you build, a landing page for, to register people in a new event, that's a win, right? Like, we forget, we think like, no, I have to build the whole funnel before I can celebrate and have that, whatever, fill in the blank. But it's all of those little pieces. And I think the other thing too is like showing up with a mindset, even to be laser focused and win the day, to me is a win, right? Because we're already primed to do the good things. And I think to your point, Julie, it's really, these pieces are about tweaking and optimizing. So it's like, if this is far from what you do today, it's totally fine. Like, we are always in a forever learning state. That's the excitement about it. So, and again, if this feels too linear for you, like if you are more creative, artistic, intuitive, like fill in the blank, if you're like, I could never do this, then you have to find a way that works for you. And the caveat to that is I want to challenge you to ask yourself honestly, is my current system working? Because if it's not, then I would want you to move out of your comfort zone and give this an effort and say, okay, if what I'm doing, trying to keep it all in my head or trying to keep it here or there or anywhere, isn't getting me to the goals, isn't helping me reach my financial benchmarks, isn't making me feel amazing at the end of the day, then we have to be open-minded and say, how can I shift? And maybe I'm going to try this, or maybe I'll try this and not that, but at least try something. So that's something. Yes. Question.
So I have one question.
Yeah.
Like in the monthly goals, can we take only one goal is allowed, one big goal, or we can take 2-3 goals? Because in a month, being in a digital marketing thing, and serving different clients, having different kind of assignments or appointments, we might have more than one goal. What do you say?
Yeah.
Like this month.
Great question. I would say to keep it to one goal. And here's the delineation that makes that different. We're always going to have tasks or client work. Like if we're service-based business, we're going to have tasks, whether it's coaching calls or whether it's one-on-one consultations or therapy sessions, whatever our industry is, those aren't your goals, right? That's client work. So your client goals aren't necessarily your goals. So if you're doing like a marketing strategy for someone, or you're setting up Facebook ads, that generally isn't in this section. That's just kind of like what you do to keep your lights on, so to speak. But as the CEO of your company, to keep the lifeblood and the sustainability of your company, you want to have one solid goal, because if the goal is chunky enough for like to be accomplished in a 4-week time, and you're working Monday through Friday, then you have to think of that bigger chunky goal as like, I have 15 mini tasks per week. So I actually have 60 mini tasks to get this one chunky goal done. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes. Now it's making sense when you added this phrase, like you are the CEO of business. So from that perspective, that goal should come. So it's like sharpening your saw. You are keeping the fuel in your systems all the time, so you don't get drained or don't get overwhelmed.
Yes,
Is it?
absolutely. And side bonus here, and I'll be mindful of the time, but you can tell I absolutely love this, so I can keep going like a freight train. But side bonus here is science has proven that within the first 2 hours of waking up, we have our largest brain power. And I want you to suck all that goodness up to build your business, not to do the busy beaver tasks for somebody else. Does that make sense? So, for example, like my power time is 8 to 10. So I try to be really specific with that block of time to focus on my business and not jump in my inbox and not work on any service work that I have for clients, whether it's tweaking their slides or helping them with course creation or building a funnel in Kajabi. I do that for clients, but I really try to bring that more like after 2 p.m. when I've really tried to stay focused on the bigger chunks. So think about what works for you and take advantage of science and that first 2 hours to run your business to have more sustainability in your business. That's a side note.
So sorry,
Is it
Kc.
is it is is it first 2 hours after waking up, or is it a specific time in the morning, like 6 to 8, or 5 to 7?
First
Like
2
you said,
hours
for you
after,
it's
yep,
8 to 10.
first 2 hours after you wake up. So,
Okay.
yep.
The only thing that changes, or the only thing that stays the same on that slide that you have there is the monthly. That stays the same for the whole month.
Yes.
All the other things are changing, but your CEO vision, if you will, stays the same every day within that month, correct?
Yes. Yep. And if you've accomplished it, like if you're like, wow, I got that done in 3 weeks, then you can tuck in something different. You know what I'm saying? But like in general, and you'll get the swing of it, like you'll start to feel like, okay, yep, it's a chunky enough goal for this month. Then it's going to work that way. But if you find you have accomplished that goal in 3 weeks, then just shift and tweak it to something that in 5 more working days, you're going to be able to chip away at it. The cool thing about this, you don't end your day with guilt. And before I started implementing this, I would be like, oh, I should have gotten that done. I should have done more here. And when you start utilizing this, that whole guilt piece goes away because you're like, nope, I'm laser focused. I got this.
I just wanted to add to that because some of us, and was that my Facebook? I want to add to that because some of us are creatives, and for me, I'll go to editing photos or tweaking a website page because I love doing that stuff. I could geek out on doing that all day long. So what I do is I reward myself. So I do the important things first, and then if I'm done for my day, like I've done the things that needed to be done today, then I allow myself to go and do the tweaking of my page that is not important and not income producing, or creating Canva templates, whatever, right? So I reward myself with doing those things that are maybe not income producing and that I can do.
Brilliant. You've actually been able to flip a challenge, which is creative avoidance, and use it to your advantage because we repeat what's rewarded, right? So psychologically, we repeat what's rewarded. So if you train your brain to chunk through those lists and you will get to fill in the blank of what you like to do that when these 3 boxes are checked, then you're starting to develop that new pattern. So brilliant. You've already kind of crushed that piece. I love it. So point 3, get more done in less time and have more energy at the end of the day to boot. So I don't know about you, but yeah, this one is really, really exciting to me. And one of the strategies that has been proven to work is called deep work blocks. So deep work blocks, thank you for the image, Julie. I love it. It is really about time blocking our day. Again, one of those pro tips is using those first 2 hours after you wake up to grow your business and focus on those MITs and then the income generating activities, your IGAs. So that's super important. A tool that's going to help you get there is called the Pomodoro technique. And this is a time management. So this is the actual definition of the Pomodoro technique, time management method developed by Francisco Cirillo in the late 1980s. The technique uses a timer to break down work into intervals, traditionally 25 minutes in length, separated by short breaks. So this is like stupid, silly, simple, and effective and science backed. So it's like the best thing. It's also free, and it absolutely puts like bumper gutters so you can stay right in the lane. Like there's my little bowling metaphor. So you can really stay super focused on those MITs. The interesting thing is, like, for those of us that use the Pomodoro technique, we kind of call it pom pomming our way through the day. You can add as many POMs. So a POM is a 25-minute increment of a deep work block. You can add as many POMs as what's comfortable to your day, as what fits around your client sessions, as what fits around your service hours. I've found that, like, on tasks that feel mundane, this really helps me stay in the zone and not be like, oh, shiny object or alert or beep. I silence my phone and I set the timer. And this tomatotimer.com is free. It's an app that actually keeps track of your time. It looks like this. It's super simple and effective. So basically, it already has a 25-minute timer here for you. And when you click short break, that's a 5-minute. And when you click long break, that's a 10-minute. So some people will say, you know what, I'm going to do 4 POMs today. That's my goal. And other people may say, well, I'm going to do 3 because I have 3 MITs. And if I can get 3 POMs in the day, then it's going to really set me up to check those boxes off. And when you think about it, that's only an hour and a half of deep work. But if you do this hour and a half of deep work at the end of 5 days, it's like interest. It compounds day after day after day. And like literally, you will be shocked, even if you put 3 POMs a day in, how much you will get done in a day and how much energy that you will conserve, because we leak energy when we think, oh, wait, oh, dryer buzzer, let me pull those out. Oh, you know what? I better throw the potatoes in so they can start getting roasting now. You know, oh, I got this, you know, my sister's calling. Let me take that call. Science has proven that every time we divert from a task, there is a lag time of getting back into it. I don't know if it's 10 minutes, but it's a chunky period of time. You get a million distractions in the day, you're leaking energy all day long. So using this tomato timer, super helpful. It's as simple as pressing the green button when you want to start it. And I just open it up as a separate tab, and then I just continue working. I don't even look at it. Like, I like it behind the scenes because I get distracted by motion. If you're like me, just open a tab and then go into another tab, and it'll give you a little beep. And when you hear that beep, it'll immediately go into your short break. So the cool part is that the short break is your opportunity to get a glass of water, to stretch and reset your back. So you can habit stack these healthy things to promote like work-life balance just by using this. Like, all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, the beep is there. I might as well like stretch and get a water, you know? So it's very cool. Like, again, how can we be more efficient with less ways and reminders? So I'm loving that one. Let me make sure. Let's see here. Yeah, I think that was everything I wanted to share was the 25-minute increments, the app. We already talked about that. Closing here with really the choice and belief to be the CEO of your business. So very huge, because like we said in the beginning, like the same situation, the way we change our thoughts, which really turn into beliefs, will then affect our action and will ultimately affect our results. So I hope that these strategies help you become laser focused and also feel like you're winning at the end of the day, feel like you're having energy at the end of the day. So I'm so excited. Like, man, we wrapped up before the top of the hour. I am more than happy to stay on and answer any questions. And I hope that this was really helpful for you.
Thank you so much. This was so amazing and so helpful. And I think that the people on the call will agree with me that it was amazing information. And of course, this is recorded, so there's a replay, and I'm sure that so many others will find great value in this training.
Yeah.
So if does anyone,
yeah, definitely, it was really very amazing because she connected the modern science and principles with our ancient things. Because in every culture and civilization, these things are somewhere in like inscribed somewhere. But due to digital technology, we just tend to forget it. And thanks for reliving those things.
My pleasure. Thank you.
So I'm just, if anybody has any questions, just let us know. But in the meantime, Kc, if anybody is interested in working with you or following you and any of that sort of stuff, where can we find you?
So my website is kcrossi.com. I actually have a free gift on my website, which is the Emerging Leaders Quick Start Guide, which will actually give you a 3-part free video training that will help you get clear, help you define your sweet spot, and really kind of unlock more of these simple strategies so you can really have some success and sustainability in your business. And then I'm on all the social channels, but that handle right there, my.coach.kc, is Instagram. So if you have any questions, reach out to me, connect, DM, all the good things.
And then Kc also has an incredible podcast, guys. So you can find it if you go to kcrossi.com. You have the tab for your podcast on your website, right? So they can tune into some of your incredible episodes of your podcast.
Including yours. They should listen to you.
It was a good one too, guys. We talked about growing your email list and lead magnets. Is that what we talked about?
We talked about a lot of good nuggets.
Yeah. Because I did a couple of podcast episodes in that same span of time, and I think the lead magnet was with Allison. But we talked a little bit more about what we talked about today, kind of like all a together package. Yeah. So definitely was a great episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome.
Okay, awesome. Well, if nobody has any questions, I just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you, Kc, for this incredible training. I'm so grateful to you, and it was a good time, and I can't wait to share the replay.
My pleasure. I had a lot of fun connecting. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for being here, guys.
Thank you all.
Thank you.